Welcome to season 1, episode 4 of the Witching Hour with Lacey, where I, Lacey, read romantasy stories I write. This season is an enemies to lovers tale of vampire pirate, or vampirate, Queen Gráinne and farmer Colm. Last week, Colm left the ship in Gráinne to survive on his own as a baby vampire. It didn't turn out well. All right, let's get started. I may have underestimated the sun. Weren't you a farmer? It's possible being back on this boat will be more painful than standing out in full daylight without any protection. Gráinne drops the rope and comes to inspect my wounds. Colm, take better care of yourself. She turns her head to the side. Declan, take Colm to my quarters. That won't be necessary. Have it your way. The captain leads the way below deck. When we arrive at our room, there are bags upon bags crowding the space, rendering it difficult to move around. What's this? Preparations for our next mission. Next mission? Probably some scheme to rob innocent people who are already struggling. Mission? Focus on learning how to be a vampire. It must be terrible if she won't divulge anything. Will I heal? You shall. Would you like to do it the easy way, or are you too goody-goody for that? The easy way? Drink my blood. How did I know the easy way would be morally repugnant? I refuse to drink blood from a human. She bares her fangs. Vampire! I refuse to drink blood from you most of all. How about I put it in the goblet? This banshee. I refuse to drink your blood by any means. How does she not understand? Is it not bad enough that I'm damned, soulless? I will not further my fall from being a man of faith to drink the blood of my fellow man or vampire. I just won't. I can't. It'll take longer, much longer. Gráinne situates me in her cabin. Once again, I'm on her bed, however, she immediately wanders off, easily weaving her way through the maze of bags, leaving me without any better understanding of how to heal or survive once these cursed wounds no longer impede so much. For the first time in days, if not weeks, I relax. I don't have the answers to any of the questions I most need answers for. I'm again rendered useless, unable to use my new power. I don't have clarity on anything. I suppose I'm learning to be more comfortable with that new reality. The chamber door opens and the proprietor leaps over the sacks across the room as if it were nothing. I can add jumping to the list of new vampire powers, unless it's different for everyone. Miss me? She must know I didn't. Why tease me? This might sting a bit. She pulls out a bottle and pours the liquid onto my burns. Sting a bit? Surely she jests. It smells like whiskey, but it feels like death. I struggle to contain my cries, but I'm unable to hide the pain she's inflicting. There, that wasn't so bad, was it? Is she joking? Are you done? That was the worst of it. She applies balm over the newly cleaned wounds. Whatever's in that magical cream eases the sting of whiskey and soothes the burns. The effect is profound and immediate. What's that? One of my little secrets. She covers the balm with clean-ish cloth. I'll check back on you soon. Stay out of trouble. Alone in her quarters, If I'm to spend days here recovering, I need to figure out how to pass the time, or I'm likely to leave with my body healed, but my mind a cagey mess. Every sound the ship makes, the creaks of the wood, the smack of sails, every movement of the sea, the waves crashing, the fish eating, birds near and far, each footstep, each word, every song the crew sings, both the good voices and the bad. I hear it all. I can't spend night upon night with the suffocating noise of the world and nothing to distract me. It's then I remember the books. My family couldn't afford books of our own, but I was fortunate to attend the local hedge school for long enough to learn to read. Too bad I destroyed the vampire. There may have been answers in there. Exploring the shelves, I'm impressed by the extent and variety of her book collection. I allow my gaze to rest on a book I never expected to find on a damned ship such as this. Yes, she has a Bible. What use does a demon have for a Bible? I frown and move on. There are books of myths from various cultures, no doubt from all the different lands she's pillaged, philosophy, poetry, witchcraft, Shakespeare. Either this is the most educated woman to ever live, or she enjoys depriving others of the opportunity. I settle on a nice stack and place them on the table next to the bed. Melmoth the Wanderer, Frankenstein, Dr. Faustus, Robinson Crusoe, Gulliver's Travels, and the Bible. Melmoth might not have been a vampire, but he was soulless, so I start there. A friend from hedge school hid a copy of Melmoth the Wanderer in the classroom barn, but I never had the desire to read it before. Halfway through the first chapter, Gráinne returns. For a moment, I consider hiding the book under my pillow, but I quickly remember she, of all creatures, wouldn't think less of me for reading the trials and tribulations of a damned man. You've been busy. She walks over to my stack of books. The Bible? How unoriginal. Frankenstein? Classic. Dr. Faustus? She sits on the bed next to me as she flips through the novel, stroking the pages as she turns. This is a first edition. This, Colm, she hugs the book to her chest, is my most prized possession. It's clear from how her features soften that she has fond memories of the novel. I want to know more, but I won't ask. I know her well enough by now to know I won't get the truth out of her. Instead, I merely wait in silence. This, she holds up the book, once belonged to John Dee. You'll meet him sooner or later. Can't wait. Oh, Colm, always so agreeable. Dee is an ally of sorts now. Once he was my sworn enemy. He played a huge part in Lizzie thinking she could take our island for herself. Obviously, I didn't take kindly to this foolish interference. What'd you do? She sits on the edge of the bed. I broke into his private library, of course. Of course. Pirates gotta pillage, Colm. She isn't wrong. Pillaging is pretty standard fare for pirates. She could choose not to be a pirate, though. How does breaking into his library to steal a book help Ireland keep out of the clutches of England? Oh, no. He had no power by then. Lizzie cast him aside much earlier. Before I stole the book, I relocated the blood from his body. Is murder justified when the victim has done so much worse? The Bible is pretty clear with the "you shall not kill," but would God understand the extreme circumstances? You killed him? Joke's on me. Some vamp came around after me and turned him, but not before I got my hands on Faustus. Does this John Dee know what you did? He knows I tried to kill him. I quite enjoyed drinking his blood. But he doesn't know about the book. Don't tell him, Kate? You killed him, or tried. Because he helped Queen Elizabeth take over our land. But why do you care? What do you mean? What do I mean? You kill. Unable to contain my anger, I punch the bed. Our people! She tilts her head. I kill our people? You drink their blood. Colm, you don't really think I'm out here killing Irishmen, do you? Yes! We don't kill people when we take blood from them. Dee was an exception. You don't? Her head rears back as if I slapped her. No. You thought I'd do such a thing? The legends about Gráinne spoke of revenge and killing. There might be some truth to the legends. However, that was hundreds of years ago. People can change. You're a pirate. My daddy took me out on boats when I was a slip of a girl. Piracy is in my blood. That doesn't mean I would ever do anything to hurt our people, like you didn't hurt me. That's different. I didn't get an opportunity to ask why she felt I was so unworthy as to end my human life, for she left the room at that point. She tried to kill the man who helped orchestrate Ireland losing its independence. That's unexpected. The next several nights are slow and tedious. Gráinne comes in regularly to apply more balm and change my bandages. I finish Melmoth the Wanderer and move on to Gulliver's Travels. I would have read Dr. Faustus to see what makes it worth stealing, but she took it with her. The reading is slow. It's hard to concentrate when you hear every click, clank, and creak coming from miles away. My plan of learning how to be a vampire isn't progressing. Gráinne hasn't been talkative since the first night. I need to take matters into my own hands. The next time she's tending to my wounds, I ask, what else can kill us? She looks up from where she's wrapping my hand. What? The sun can burn a vampire to death. I hold up the newly wrapped hand to demonstrate. Can we die by other means? There are 4 ways we can die. Sun, fire, a wooden stake through the heart, and decapitation. My eyes narrow. Decapitation? It happens. She moves on to the next of my sores. Seems pretty easy to avoid all 4. Hence being basically immortal. Basically. Are you flirting with me? I gasp. What? Nothing. She finishes tying the last bandage. Your wounds look better. Maybe another 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days? I've been trapped in this room for so long already. Can't we speed this along? Drink my blood. We've been through this. I drop my head to the pillow. I can't. Why not? You won't kill me. Not without a wooden stake. I don't trust you. You don't trust me? Why does that matter? If I take your blood, I know you'll want something in return. She shakes her head and leaves the room. On the 8th night, I overhear the crew talking. Mary, did you get the key? Aye, Captain. And we know which cottage the healer lives in? Aye, Captain. Then we're ready. Good job on the preparations. What are you going to do about fresh meat? Let me worry about him. The new moon is in 2 nights. We sail at dusk. Why would they need to know where a healer lives? What are they preparing for? I bet it has something to do with all these bags. The next night, while Gráinne applies new balm, I try again to get some answers. Do you know any healers? She stops everything. What? The balm. It works so well, I thought maybe it was from a healer. She resumes rubbing. Oh, yeah, a healer, right. That didn't get me any closer to the truth. Time for a different approach. I heard the crew talking. It's rude to eavesdrop. It wasn't intentional. I hear everything all the time. You haven't learned to tune out sounds. That's possible? Of course. I'll teach you. That would be a blessing because the noise is maddening. Don't get sidetracked. About the crew. What about them? The crew, these bags, what's going on? Gráinne looks me in the eye for several moments. If you must know, we're going on a raid. I figured, but what do you need to prepare? How hard is it to steal from defenseless people? That's not what we do. What is it you do then? We repatriate food before it gets sent to England and return it to the villagers. Wide-eyed, I reply, You what? You heard me. But that's so noble of you. You really do think I'm a demon, don't you? It's fine, Colm. I'm not a demon. A vampire. She gently shoves my shoulder. Remember? Demons are another thing entirely. I'm coming. You're what? On the raid. I want to join you. Can't. Why not? Too weak. You'd be a liability. Heal me. You're joking. I'm ready to take your blood. Let me get this straight. You spent several grueling nights trapped in this room reading because you're morally opposed to eating, but now you've changed your mind. If you're helping Ireland, I want in on it. She cocks her eyebrow. You sure? Aye, Captain. The next thing I know, Gráinne is standing closer to me than any woman other than my dear Bridge has ever stood. Even my human eyes would have been able to distinguish each of the hairs on her head at this distance. My stomach involuntarily clenches. She pushes her hair over her shoulder and bares her neck at me. A sweet, floral smell wafts up. I take a step back and nearly tumble over a bag. No, a cup. She rolls her eyes. Have it your way. Gráinne picks up a goblet from the table next to the bed and does a quick flick of a fingernail against the delicate flesh of her pale wrist and fills the cup with the maroon liquid. Here. I draw the cup to my lips, then hesitate. I'm not wrong about her. She might not be a literal demon, but she's far from an angel. There'll be strings that come with this blood. Before I have a chance to change my mind, I gulp down the blood. The people need us. I remove the bandage from my hand. The sore, it's gone. Told ya. I rip off the rest of the bandages. My body is fully healed. For the first time since I came back to the ship, I feel strong. I bet I could lift a cow. Easy there, tiger. She pushes me back down onto the bed. I stand right back up. Let's go. Go where? To the village. The food. The people. Not yet. Why? People are dying. Don't you think I know that? For centuries, I've witnessed one tragedy after the next for this little island I love so much. Then why wait? Humans get cagey when they know about us. Those fires, those wooden stakes, best avoided. Tomorrow the moon will be at its faintest. Tomorrow. Who knows what waits in the dark? We do. I'll see you at the next witching hour. Thank you for joining me for episode 4 of the Witching Hour with Lacey. If you enjoyed what you heard, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below to let me know what you think Gráinne is really up to. Why'd she pick Colm? What does she want with a healer? Join me next week where the crew steals food from the rich to give to the poor. The Witching Hour with Lacey is on YouTube, podcast platforms if you want the audio-only version, Substack where you can read the weekly episodes if you prefer, TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. It's the Witching Hour with Lacey on all channels. I hope to see you next week.